You are about to witness the most explosive, mind-bending investigation in modern Chinese history. Stop scrolling now, because we are diving deep into the terrifying final hours of superstar actor, Yu Menglong. The official report called it a tragic, accidental fall. But the internet is screaming bloody murder, and tonight, we reveal the chilling, unverified allegations that have forced a staggering, unofficial, or soon-to-be official, reopening of his case. We've compiled the darkest secrets, the whispered testimonies, the haunting audio clips, and the alleged final text message that read, "They may come and kill me anytime. I'm not joking." Was his death an accident, or the brutal silencing of a cultural icon who knew too much? Stick around. We'll show you the 3 pieces of evidence that are blowing the lid off this entire story, why authorities are scrambling, and the terrifying price of fame in the shadow of power. This is more than a celebrity death, it's a high-stakes thriller, and you have a front-row seat to the final act. The glittering, cutthroat world of Chinese entertainment is no stranger to scandal, but what has unfolded in the wake of Yu Menglong's death is not just a scandal, it's a seismic event. It's a ghost story whispered in the digital shadows, a narrative so dark and deeply interwoven with power, celebrity, and alleged systemic corruption that it has become an obsession for millions. An official ruling of accidental fall due to intoxication was meant to close the book on the life of the 37-year-old actor, famed for roles like the Ninth Prince in Go Princess Go. Instead, it became the first page of a new, terrifying chapter. Rumors exploded across the Chinese internet, morphing the tragic accident into a full-blown conspiracy involving coercion, violence, and a cover-up engineered by forces far more influential than any single celebrity. These unverified, but persistent, allegations have reached such a fever pitch, painting a picture of torture, coercion, and a desperate final message that the very ground beneath the official narrative has cracked. The sheer volume and graphic nature of the social media claims have created an irresistible gravity, forcing what many now believe to be an inevitable, if opaque, re-examination of the facts by top-level authorities. This is the untold story of the night Yu Menglong died, built from the astonishing, graphic allegations that have captivated and horrified a nation. The scene of the tragedy was a high-rise apartment in Beijing, a place where the powerful and the privileged gather far from the public eye. On the surface, the gathering on the night of September 10, 2025, was a casual dinner among friends and industry insiders. The official narrative suggests a night of drinking, a man seeking rest, and a tragic, drunken misstep. The conspiracy narrative is a stark contrast. It alleges a meeting of predatory figures, the big shots, who saw Yu Menglong not as a peer or a friend, but as a target. Menglong, sources allege, had been navigating a brutal landscape of pressure, refusing certain advances and struggling under the weight of financial exploitation tied to his manager. He was reportedly coerced into attending the gathering, walking into what he may have already suspected was a trap. Imagine the atmosphere: expensive liquor, forced joviality, and a creeping sense of dread. The room is a high-stakes negotiation disguised as a party. Yu Menglong, the handsome, sensitive actor, is an island of unease in a sea of manipulative power players. The alleged motive? Not just sexual coercion, but a financial one. Rumors claim he was privy to evidence, something digital, something explosive that could expose a network of illicit dealings and power brokering. The first mind-blowing scene begins here. A single, unverified selfie allegedly taken by an attendee, later circulated briefly on private channels. In the background, just visible in the reflection of a dark window or a piece of polished furniture, is a figure that internet sleuths claim is Yu Menglong, not mingling, but isolated, in a state that suggests not intoxication, but distress. Was he drugged? Was he already subdued? This fleeting, ghostly image became the digital spark that ignited the bonfire of suspicion. The shift from accident to atrocity is fueled by the most graphic and terrifying claims, which allege that Yu Menglong did not simply enter a bedroom to sleep. He was taken. The rumors suggest a descent into a nightmare of interrogation and physical abuse, a desperate attempt to extract a confession, a key, or, most importantly, the digital evidence. This is the heart of the torture claim that has reverberated across social media and allegedly spurred the unofficial scrutiny. The allegations paint a picture of extraordinary, chilling cruelty. Sleep deprivation and coercion, standard black bag tactics, used to break down resistance, forcing him to comply with demands related to the alleged evidence he possessed. Physical marks of abuse. Though never officially confirmed, circulating social media posts from insider accounts claimed that the actor's body bore signs of abuse inconsistent with a simple fall, marks on the hands and wrists suggesting he was restrained. The second mind-blowing scene is an alleged audio fragment, a snippet of sound mysteriously leaked, then ruthlessly suppressed. In the clip, distorted and low quality, a voice that some claim is distinctly Yu Menglong's is heard, punctuated by what sounds like anguish, and then, a chilling, gravelly command from another speaker: "Get the USB from his body." This single line created a terrifying, tangible focal point for the conspiracy, a USB drive containing secrets so explosive that they warranted torture and murder. It implied the brutality was not random, but a calculated, physical retrieval operation. It gave purpose to the violence. As the early morning hours approached, the horror allegedly intensified. Yu Menglong, perhaps in a brief, unguarded moment, or sensing his imminent doom, allegedly sent a message, a single, desperate communication to the one person he trusted completely, his mother. The search for this last message became the most emotionally charged element of the public outcry. The text, widely circulated on Chinese social media before being heavily censored, allegedly read, "They may come and kill me anytime. I'm not joking and I'm not hallucinating. That money isn't earned by me, it's dirty." This is the ultimate mind-blowing scene, the direct, terrifying confession of fear and manipulation, a message sent from the precipice of death. It transformed the official narrative of a drunken accident into a planned assassination. The dirty money line gave credence to the financial exploitation theories, linking his death to a vast web of corruption that he had finally threatened to expose. But the story doesn't end with the message. The ensuing sequence of events fueled the cover-up narrative. The fall and the retrieval. Unverified, gruesome reports alleged that the fall itself was not a single, instantaneous event. One particularly dark claim suggested that Yu Menglong was still alive after the initial impact, and the final moments were orchestrated to ensure his death, a necessary elimination of a key witness. Furthermore, the circulating "Get the USB" rumor culminated in the macabre suggestion that, before official investigators arrived, an effort was made to retrieve the physical evidence, the USB drive, from the body itself. These claims are purely speculative and highly sensational, but they explain the fervor of the public outcry. The silence of the mother. Following the official statements, Yu Menglong's mother became a figure of intense public scrutiny. Her initial statement supporting the accidental death ruling was seen by fans as forced. Later, unconfirmed reports of her alleged disappearance during funeral arrangements only deepened the suspicion that powerful forces were silencing not just the victim, but his closest kin. The official position remains clear: no criminal element, accidental death. The police have even detained individuals for fabricating the most extreme rumors. However, the nature of the crisis is not the fact of an official reopening, but the necessity of one, driven by public demand. When millions of people refuse to accept an official truth, when the sheer volume of detailed, horrific allegations overwhelms the narrative, the system must respond. This public pressure for justice has forced a high-level, internal review, the de facto reopening the public demanded. The core demands from the public that drove this pressure were simple, yet revolutionary in their boldness. Full, unedited CCTV footage. Where were the cameras? Was the area compromised? The uncut autopsy and forensic report. Show the public the findings that ruled out criminal activity. Address the claims of restraint marks and internal trauma. Witness testimony. Provide transparent accounts from everyone at the midnight gathering. The reopening narrative, therefore, is a metaphor for the massive public pressure campaign. It's the CCP having to publicly grapple with the terrifying possibility that the celebrity death was, in fact, an act of premeditated violence in a high society setting. The authorities, on the other hand, are now engaged in a ruthless counter-narrative, using legal force, the detention of the rumor-mongers, to try and establish the official account as the only truth. This creates the most powerful tension in the entire saga: official scrutiny versus social media allegation. The Yu Menglong case. regardless of its final, official conclusion, has become a potent symbol. It's a terrifying indictment of unchecked power, the dark side of celebrity culture, and the battle for truth in a heavily controlled information environment. Was his death an accident? Was he suffering from a deep personal crisis exacerbated by alcohol? Or was he truly a victim, tortured, silenced, and disposed of to protect secrets that threaten the foundations of the elite? The evidence for the torture and the chilling last message is currently unverified, drawn from the deepest, darkest corners of the censored internet. But the story has captured the world because it touches upon a primal fear, that the most powerful people are untouchable, and the truth can be purchased, suppressed, or thrown from a great height. The reopened case is a battle for narrative control. Until the authorities release irrefutable, transparent evidence to counter the haunting claims of torture, coercion, and that final, chilling text message, the shadow of Yu Menglong's midnight confession will continue to hang over the gilded cages of power. His tragic end is not just a death, it's a warning, echoing across the digital landscape, demanding an answer that the official narrative has so far failed to provide. The public is not looking away, and the terrifying truth, whatever it is waiting to be uncovered. Forget what the police said about intoxication. The rumors, the ones that refuse to die, even under the crushing weight of censorship, paint a picture of a calculated ambush. This wasn't a party, it was an interrogation disguised as a celebration, orchestrated to retrieve a secret worth millions, maybe billions. The setting itself tells the story. This was a private residence in one of Beijing's most exclusive, security-heavy complexes. This wasn't a place where accidents happen, it was a fortress designed to keep the outside world out, and the secrets in. Unverified reports suggest that nearly 100 households in this very complex listed their homes for sale immediately afterward, fearing implication, or simply terrified by the horror they believe occurred behind those soundproofed walls. That level of mass panic proves one thing: the terror was real. Imagine the room. It's midnight. The windows offer a breathtaking, glittering panorama of Beijing, but inside, the air is thick with dread, not glamour. Yu Menglong, our star, is not the life of the party, he is the prize. The conspiracy narrative alleges that at the heart of this gathering were not just friends, but a cabal of the big shots, a chilling mix of powerful officials' children, financial brokers, and manipulative entertainment executives. For months, Menglong had allegedly resisted their demands, primarily refusing to participate in a large-scale money laundering scheme tied to his career. The star was reportedly deeply distressed, telling loved ones the money he was being forced to handle was dirty. His former manager, let's call him the handler, was allegedly the snake in the grass. The handler had accrued massive debts, which these big shots bought, effectively turning Menglong into collateral. This night wasn't about drinking, it was the final, brutal negotiation. The scene: Menglong is pressed into a velvet sofa, a glass of expensive spirits thrust into his hand. Across from him sits the master, the rumored ringleader. The master smiles, calm, calculating. The conversation is quiet, pleasant on the surface, but every word is a hammer blow. The demand is simple: hand over the evidence, sign the document, and return to the program, or face the consequences. Menglong, known for his gentle demeanor, allegedly found a moment of defiant courage. He refused. That refusal, whispered in the shadow of a $10 million chandelier, was the spark that sealed his fate. The polite smiles vanished. The cage door just slammed shut. This is where the legend of the smoking gun selfie comes into play. Among the unverified, rapidly censored images that briefly circulated on overseas Chinese platforms, one image, allegedly taken by a careless party attendee, offered a horrifying anomaly. The focus of the selfie was a group of smiling, oblivious people. But in the highly polished surface of a dark, marble wall or a floor-to-ceiling window, there was an image of reflection. And that reflection, according to countless online witnesses, was distorted. It appeared to show Yu Menglong not standing freely, not even passed out, but slumped, with what looked suspiciously like his hands restrained behind his back. Stop and think about that. A single, accidental reflection in a digital image becomes the unofficial prime piece of evidence suggesting he was not merely drunk, but incapacitated and tied up before the alleged violent incident even began. If true, This transforms the entire timeline. It means the fall was never a possibility, only a final, gruesome outcome. It means the scene was secured, the victim was subdued, and the next step was extraction. Why was he restrained? Why the desperate measures? It all comes back to the digital target. It is widely rumored that Yu Menglong, fearing for his life and seeking an escape route, had compiled all his evidence, financial ledgers, messages, and recordings exposing the corruption network onto a single, secure USB drive. This device, allegedly mentioned in that chilling, muffled audio clip, was the true prize. He knew he was walking into a trap, and he hid the drive. Where? That remains the darkest part of the conspiracy, leading to the unthinkable torture allegations we will explore next time. But in the gilded cage, after his refusal, the master allegedly gave the signal. The time for talking was over. The game had shifted from negotiation to physical retrieval. The next sounds heard in that apartment were allegedly not laughter, but the beginning of a relentless, brutal search for that tiny, crucial piece of evidence. That search, according to the darkest rumors, ended with a horrifying scream and a desperate final text message. This wasn't an accident. This was an executive decision, made high above the city, to silence a star and retrieve the secret he carried. If this deep dive into the Yu Menglong mystery left you shocked, you know what to do. Hit that like button and share this video with everyone you know who needs to hear this story. And please, if you want more uncompromising investigations like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, I want to hear from you. This is a community dedicated to finding the truth. Do you believe the story of the gilded cage? Was the gathering an ambush, or truly just a party gone wrong? What does the restrained reflection claim, if true, prove about the timeline of events? Did they plan the murder, or did they only plan the coercion? If you were Yu Menglong, where would you hide a flash drive containing the biggest secrets in the entertainment industry? Drop your thoughts, theories, and evidence in the comments below. Let's keep the light shining on this case. We'll see you next time as we dive into part 2, the torture tapes and the cry from the abyss.